Hello everyone, Boysays here, and so I've heard already so many complaints about Divine Static Warwick that I had to make this video. Yes, this Divine Warwick Static Shiv comp is broken. It's basically guaranteeing you top 4 by just playing it if you can find the units. However, there is some counter to it where you're not losing as bad or potentially winning if you 3-star key units to beat the comp, okay? So it doesn't guarantee you that you will get first, but those are the best comps to play if you are against a Divine lobby, which is pretty much every high hero lobby right now. There's like 4 or 5 Divine players. So I would just suggest to play one of those counters if you can, just to give you the chance to top 4 if nobody really high rolls in the Divine side. If this video helps you, please leave a like. It's just one click and it helps my channel a lot. Subscribe also if you keep coming back. I see that most of you are not subscribed, and I see that most of you keep on coming back, so just subscribe so you'll be up to date with everything related to TFT. But here it goes. So there is a certain logic to this Divine comp, okay? The idea and the only way to actually beat it is to burst it down. That's the only thing that you can do, okay? To just burst it down. If they get to their Divine spot with Warwick Static, they win the fight. So you need to kill enough frontline or Warwick before that happens. So the first counter that has been found and that's really effective right now is 6 Sharpshooters with Jinx double Ludens. That is doing insane damage to the whole team. Jhin can finish the rest, and the Morello and Sejuani can also reduce the healing for the Warwick specifically and help you win the fight. In this case, you really need Jinx 3 because Ludens also scales with level. That's a good counter. However, like I said before, it's not guaranteed that you will win. However, if your Jinx is on the same side as the Warwick and the Warwick gets Luden's proc basically because usually they have QSS, so you won't get stunned. If you get the proc around him, then there is a Morello applied for the Sejuani. You have actually a good chance to win the fight. Another counter, if they have a lot of brawlers, is Giant Slayer on the Jhin that we just apply more health on the Warwick. So it's just burst damage, okay? So another comp that's really bursty is of course Assassins. So this is still trying to be figured out on like what's the best way to play it. This is pretty good. I have Adept, I have Mystic to give more time to Assassins to kill everything. Mystic for some resistances against the Veigar Mystic Ari players. Perfect item Akali, you need to 3-star her. I really recommend if you can 3-star the Kennen. If you have those 2 3-star, you should potentially be okay. To make sure he ults, I really like having a Guardian Angel on him. Usually Akali 3 can do some good damage if you can get her to get on the same side of the Warwick. Okay. Usually they will by the time the Warwick goes on your Akali, the rest of your team should have killed the rest of the Divine comp. Kennen can then finally stand and Akali finish the Warwick. Okay. I also recommend having this positioning, especially the back on the side. Why? Because this spike here will jump here on that side and will stun everything except the Warwick in this way. So that's maximum stun power. I really like having the Kennen in the middle to stun as many people. Usually they have a huge front line here, so they will all work up while all the assassins are going in the back. Meaning everybody will get stunned by the Kennen, taunt by the Shen. You can of course switch the Akali positioning for the Warwick. Okay, what you have to worry is just the Warwick. If you kill the Warwick, you win the fight. So you just have to get to the good side and killing the Warwick. Akali will usually jump on one side okay? And usually with the RFC, especially with the RFC, can target the front line and hopefully target the Warwick. This is one way to beat it. One way that I found also possible to build it yesterday, and this was actually insane because that person had Warwick 3. Okay, so like it's hard to be stronger than that, but I got the first, and it was in NA. You can check my account if you want, but this was the comp that I used. This comp is still really underrated for some reason. It's not really played a lot, but if you can 3-star all the 2 cost and potentially Veigar, Veigar can burst down the Warwick. Okay, it's really important. Ikarim should not get killed just because he can heal, unless there is a Sunfire Cap or a Morello on the Divine comp. Your Ikarim should be able to survive the Static Shift Warwick long enough for the Veigar to snipe the Warwick. And once again, if the Veigar snipes the Warwick, you win the fight on the spot. You have Zilean at 8 to make sure that your tank survives. You have enough stun and shield to give the Veigar enough time to cast multiple times and hopefully kill the Warwick then. So I would also recommend this comp, especially if you get those items. It is really good. Now, there is another one that's new, but it's burst basically, right? And it's 5 Hunter. 225% every 2 seconds is kind of insane. Okay, so you can go for something like this. Of course, you can switch it to have maybe Mystic if you need. But the idea is this: your Warwick is gonna the Warwick is gonna stay on the front line because you have a really solid front line. You can also kick him if needed after the quest. But the Hunter procs are going to be every 2 seconds. And if you do have Ash with a Giant Slayer and those items, with blue buff by the way, on the Kindred, the Warwick should get one shot. Okay, but maybe with your own Warwick or with the Hunter proc that you will have from the Kindred or the Ash. That's the idea of this comp. I do not recommend playing this in any other circumstances. If you get a Hunter chosen and you are with 5 Daven player, you should completely go ahead and play this, okay? The idea to play against Divine is to burst the Warwick before it gets to that Divine. I think it's 50% damage reduction, and then it's gonna do true damage on top of the static shift true damage, and it's just gonna kill your entire team in seconds. So you need to get to a stage where before it can cast, I think, a second time, that's when you need to burst him down. If he's dead, you usually win the fight because they don't have that much more damage on this comp. They still have because it's Divine, so be careful. But that's their big damage, so you should be able to survive long enough for this to work against Divine. Again, this is working just against Divine. If you have a 5 Divine lobby and you get a Hunter chosen, please go for this, okay? Really, really strong. If you can get even a stack shift on your own Warwick, perfect. It's just 2 Divine, I know, but it's still 4 seconds or 2 damage. So hopefully this video helps. I really recommend those 4 comps, being Sharpshooter, Ninja Assassins, Veigar Mages, 5 Hunter. In some cases, if you have perfect ARI items, like Guardian Angel, Double Juke Gauntlet, I can consider potentially Veigar Mystic. But even they have Mystic, they have Adept, they even have Dazzler. So most of the time, even if your ARI doesn't crit, you just lose the fight on the spot. If your ARI crits, you have a chance. And I don't like relying on a crit to win a fight. So that's why I didn't put it on this list, because here you don't rely on a crit, maybe on the Kindred, but you should be able to get it with the Hunter proc anyway. Veigar is just Veigar. You know, if you cast on the Warwick, you're good. Ninja Assassin burst the entire team before Warwick gets to that state. And Sharpshooter just having a ton of damage, stunning everything else, having the Ludens proc off Jinx 3. really important Jinx 3. If you don't have Jinx 3, I'm pretty sure you lose actually. And maybe a Giant Slayer, Infinity Edge also is also really good on the Jhin. But that is it for this video, guys. I hope it's gonna help you. I know there's a lot of divines out there, and it's probably not gonna get hotfixed because they need time to like settle the meta. It's just been like 1 day or two. So of course everybody is enjoying playing divine now, but like I said, and more dog static as well, there is counters, and my experience, the burst is basically a counter. If you burst the Warwick or the team down first before it gets to the divine state, you should win the fight. Please like and comment if you have any questions about the divine comps or any of those comps that I just presented. Subscribe for all my new content to be up to date with the TFT meta, and I will see you guys next time.